Hey, hi guys. Welcome to yet another episode of Let's Talk with Heal Clinic. Today we have Kavita with us. All those who attended last week's session knows that she talks about physical health and what is it that triggers these physical health issues and going deeper into the conflict that caused. And as decided last session by last time's poll, that today we are going to focus more on diabetes. But just a note, since many of you have messaged me saying that you would want to know about some other diseases. So post diabetes, Vanchi has explained the different possible conflicts in people who are suffering from diabetes or have someone in their family who's suffering from diabetes. Post that, we are open to taking questions on other illnesses. Hope that works. Over to you, Kavita.
Very good evening to everybody.
Good evening.
And my name is Kavita Freedom. I see some known names, some unknown names. So just a brief introduction. I'm a therapist and a counselor and a self-help workshop facilitator for more than 12 years now. And my journey with healing and diseases started in 2001 when I broke my L4 L5 disc and I was semi-paralyzed and my surgery went wrong and I landed up with seizures. And the doctors told me that I would never be able to get back on my feet. And if I don't go in for another surgery, I would go into coma. And I took my bravest decision at that time was that I told them to back off. And I told them I don't want to do anything with any surgery. Whatever has to happen will happen. And I will see what has to be done about it. And that is where I started questioning the universe that if you have kept me alive and in this situation, that means there is more to it. And as I kept questioning, certain things started falling in place. Therapists started coming in my life. Different modalities started coming. And that is where I healed myself out of my seizures. I healed my L4, L5 broken disc. I'm not paralyzed anymore. And the CSF leak, that is the fluid which is there in the brain, which was leaking into my spine, even that has stopped completely and I'm absolutely fit and fine. So I have this very firm belief that if we really want to heal ourselves, there are answers, and it's only our willingness or our non-willingness which does not let us heal. Some of you all were there last time, and I had explained the 5 steps of diseases, what is stress disease, what is a rest disease, and all those things. I hope you people are aware of it and remember whatever has been taught. Now, diabetes is a disease which is caused actually by stress. So today, if you will go to the doctors, they will tell you that you have a lot of stress because of which diabetes is there. And the reasons that they give you for the stress, they don't make sense. And yet what they will want you to do is remove the stress. But how do you remove the stress? So normally we are told to do yoga, we are told to do exercise, meditation, breathing, and all that. But behind every disease, there is a specific trauma. There is a specific emotional conflict that happens, which starts the disease. And if you can find that conflict and work can be done around that, healing can be done around that, then the disease has to go. And my experience has been that even juvenile diabetes has been healed, which is an autoimmune disease for which doctors have no answer. Whoever is that child, he or she has to be on lifetime drugs and the condition only deteriorates. And even that, with this particular therapy work and everything, has got healed. So your normal diabetes can 100% get healed until unless you are not willing to let go of that disease. Sometimes we don't even want to let go of that disease, right? So it is extremely important to understand the conflict and how to resolve that. So is there anybody here with diabetes? Anybody here who is here with diabetes themselves? Okay, we have 1, 2.
Yeah.
And anybody else? It's
Yes.
Tasneem, Madhu, Shanti. Anybody else?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the first thing, what happens in diabetes? In diabetes, your pancreas are not functioning properly, correct? You know where are pancreas? They are right here, where your ribcage turns. So that is where your pancreas are there. Now, what does the pancreas do? It releases a certain amount of insulin so that your sugar levels can be maintained. And we need sugar so that our body can function. We have the energy, correct? But when the pancreas are not functioning, either completely stops producing insulin, enough is not produced. So when you go for a blood test, it will show more sugar. Okay, are we clear a little bit over here medically as to what happens in diabetes? Are we clear here? Okay. And that is the reason you all are taking insulin tablets or insulin injections depending on how your condition is, right? Now, one main conflict is there behind diabetes is, if you take the word diabetes, it means my house got split into two. What does that mean? That my house got split into two. It can be a joint family that got separated. Two brothers got separated, or the parents and the child got separated. And the person who is there still back at home feels that my house has got divided into two. In diabetes, my house has split into two. Many a times, even when in the same house, two kitchens are made, that is also the house getting split into two. A business that is getting divided between maybe two brothers, that is also my house is getting split into two. Does it resonate with anybody who has got diabetes over here?
Can I just ask a question?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
Ishani.
I am Isha, yeah. I don't have any diabetes, but my brother-in-law, my husband's brother, younger brother, he got diabetes at a very young age, probably when he's 30 or 31 or something like that. And the only thing I can relate to is what you're saying. He's a captain in merchant navies. So he keeps going and then he comes back, something like that. 6 months, 2 months, 6 months, 2 months.
Right,
So
right.
do you, is that also kind of a separation kind of a thing?
Ishani, it's very difficult for me to tell you because I would want this person over here because this is one of the conflicts that I'm speaking about with diabetes.
Okay. I get it.
Okay, there are at least another 5 conflicts that are responsible for diabetes, and sometimes it can be only one conflict or it can be a combination of all the 5.
I understand.
Okay, so this is
Kavita,
one of the conflict. Yes.
can it also refer to an ideological split?
What?
Can it also refer to an ideological split? Is this split in the home a metaphor for two people with different ideologies living under the same roof?
There is very clearly a split in the home. So
Okay.
there is a caste marriage, and there is a fight around which religion has to be followed.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very clearly. Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. So even that can be a split.
Right. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So that is one of the conflict that we are talking about, where there is a absolute split, like, a division. One big thing like a home, or office, a business is got divided into two. Right? Now, the second conflict with diabetes is that there is an authority figure in your life. That person is extremely authoritative. You want to fight this person, but you cannot fight. And on top of that, you're expecting softness from that person. So it is authority versus softness. When this conflict is also there is a possibility of diabetes. Okay, does it resonate with anybody here? Tasneem? Yes, would you like to share?
Tasneem, you're muted. Tasneem, you need to unmute.
Yes. Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, yes, my husband's also very dominating, and his mother was also very dominating, very
Right.
authoritative. So, I mean,
Right.
they just want things their way, and
Right.
it doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't really
Okay, this is
matter.
an excellent
Sure.
example. Now see, from
Yeah.
your mother-in-law, you know that she's an authority figure, you are expecting authority. But with your husband, what is it that you're expecting? You're expecting softness.
Yes.
And what are you getting in return? Authority, domination.
Yes.
So that is where bitterness comes in.
Sure.
And when bitterness comes in, the body has to compensate with more sugar. Because it is that relationship in which most of the time people have this struggle. Do I stay? Do I leave? Do I stay? Do I leave? Na saath raha jata hai, na choda jata hai. And that is where the bitterness, the resentment starts coming in, which can cause diabetes. And it is not a specific trauma of one time, right? You're living this with this person day in and day out, 24/7/365. So you're constantly in that stress. You don't know how to deal with this person's domination. You want softness from this person. You want love from this person. You want affection from this person. But all you're getting is domination.
True. Absolutely
Right?
true. Yep.
Yes. Thank you, Tasneem, for sharing.
Okay.
Now, that was another thing. Now, there is one more conflict that is very important in diabetes, because along with the pancreas, your liver is also functioning with the pancreas to maintain your diabetes, to maintain your sugar levels, right? What is the conflict that affects the liver? Anger. Unexpressed, suppressed anger all goes into the liver. So when I will be working for anybody with diabetes, if in my case study, I see that there is a lot of suppressed anger, that will be in fact the first thing that I will want to work on. Because when expression is given to that anger, you're able to fully, completely feel that anger in a safe space. It starts healing your liver and your pancreas. Because when I cannot express my anger completely, I not only go into bitterness, I will also go into disgust. And whom are you disgusted with? Yourself. Why are you disgusted with yourself? Because I cannot stand up against this authority person. I have so much of anger, yet I cannot get out of this anger. Making sense, everybody?
Yep.
Right? Right. So these are the main things that I've given you. Now, whatever other conflicts that are there with diabetes, they are very specific to a client. Okay. So as I had said, even in my last session, that my first session is always a complete case study. I need to know what was going on in your space when the disease started in your body. So anybody has any questions around these things?
So
The things
Kavita,
that we've
when you
spoken
say
about?
anger, can it also? So when you say anger, can anger be also ancestral anger or lineage anger, or it has to be from this
See,
life?
diseases can be karmic, they can be ancestral, but when I'm saying anger, it is one specific theme of anger that is coming down in your lineage, right? It can be a very, very strong belief.
Okay.
For example, the belief can be that I do not have the right to speak against authority people. And that is getting passed down from generations.
Right.
So that anger, which is just coming down from one generation to another, it is going to manifest as a disease.
Okay.
Does it answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions, anybody so far on the three things that we have spoken? Okay. Another major thing that can start a diabetes is a absolute huge separation conflict. What do you mean by separation conflict? When you don't feel that the houses got divided into two, but you feel that somebody who was the sweetness in your life has left you. So many times, a lot of people come down with diabetes after the death of a loved one. You feel separated from that person who was like a sugar in your life. So Ishani, I hope you can understand that because there are many conflicts, you will actually, it is better, like, the people are suffering with diabetes are here, then it's easier to help them.
Yeah, I get it. And in fact, even that authoritative people around you, I can very well see that his wife is a very, very authoritative person. After his marriage, it started. And he's kind of a person who's like, does not want to create any big problem at home. So he kinds of keeps quiet.
So he is anyway swallowing a lot of anger, right? So there is anger, there is disgust, there is authority versus softness.
Yeah.
And there is separation also for him, where he comes for, he's away for 6 months, comes back for 2 months.
And not just that, just probably 3 years back, yeah, his father passed away.
Now, are you real? See what I meant? There can be one conflict or there can be a combination of all of them. Because diabetes, it shows up in your blood much later. It starts in your body far earlier.
And on the contrary, his elder brother is my husband, who is absolutely fine in all possibilities. So it's
well,
like
that is where I say that these diseases, they are not genetic. See, doctors will tell you that if the husband has it, the child can pick it up. Or if the mother has it, the child can pick it up. But it is not the disease that you're picking up. It is the beliefs that you're picking up. It is the patterns that you're picking up. And it is the emotional conflicts that are running same. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody, any other questions? First, let's take anything if there is with diabetes. Yes, Tasri.
Yeah, my doctors, I mean, I have noticed that I'm taking medicines for asthma. And after having taken it for about 2 years, my diabetes started. So like I was told by some doctors that asthma medicine also, the side effect is diabetes.
Okay. I'm not aware of the fact that asthma medicines also can give you diabetes. Yes, a lot of PCOS medicines are given so that later on you don't get diabetes. Because unfortunately, whoever is suffering with PCOD or PCOS, they do end up later on with diabetes.
Okay.
But I'm not aware about asthma and the relation of diabetes. I would have to look into it.
Yeah, but 2 people have told me this. So like, and this happened after I was taking this.
So you're taking
medicine.
asthma medication as well as diabetes medication.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably they may have given you steroids for your asthma.
I was given at one point, yes.
Yes. So it is the steroids that could have.
Okay. The voice is cut off. I didn't hear you at all.
Do you hear
Your
me
voice
now?
cut off.
Do you hear me
Now
now?
I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, I said many times steroids can give you diabetes.
Okay.
Your regular medication will not end up with diabetes or anything like that. When specific, these very strong steroids are given, they can give you a secondary disease. But even here, I would not say that the medication has created that. There has to be a connecting conflict along with your asthma conflict, which has started the diabetes. Because not everybody who's taking asthma medicines is coming down with diabetes, right?
Okay.
So you need to see what is the connection between your asthma and your diabetes. And if I'm not mistaken, it could be your issues with your husband. Because with asthma, the conflict is when you feel extremely smothered. You understand the meaning of smothered? It's
Yes.
like literally somebody is breathing down you, not allowing you to breathe.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
along with asthma, the conflict of asthma, this conflict has played along with it and it has given you the diabetes.
Okay.
Thank you, Tasneem, for sharing.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Yes. Anybody?
Kavita, are these
Yes, Madhu.
are these the same reasons that cause type 1 and type 2 diabetes?
Yes. I see there was a boy that I was working with who had juvenile diabetes right from the age of 13. Okay, by the time he had come to me, he was nearly 17. And even in there, all these conflicts were playing up, all 5 of them. He had extreme anger towards his father because his father was an extremely dominating person. They were living in USA, and without asking or telling anything to the family, one fine day the father decides to come back from the US to India. So for him, again, my house got split. He got separated from the country that he loved. He had to leave everything and everybody behind and come. He wanted softness and affection from the father, and all that he was getting was domination. Everything was playing up for him. And the disease itself was creating a lot of disgust for him, because at such a young age, he was put on such high doses of medicines, food restrictions, not being able to do what he wanted to do, because he would keep flipping between hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia.
Okay.
Right? And the most interesting thing is that when he came for therapy, 6 months I worked with him, his reports were normal. The doctor said he does not have diabetes anymore, but the father saw to it that he wouldn't believe that, and he got the diabetes again.
Ah, okay. That's sad.
Well, that is how interesting it is.
Okay.
See, when we talk about dominating people, sometimes even this happens. They do not allow the other person to come out of that space. Because in his mind, only medicine, nutrition could help his son.
Ah, right.
He refused to believe that therapy was helping him. And he literally manipulated the child to believe that no, therapy is bullshit. That day you had gone to get your test done on an empty stomach, so the result came normal. Now, how can somebody who's got juvenile diabetes, who has not eaten maybe for one meal, get a clear report? Not possible. And it was not just the blood sugar that was normal, it was his H1B1AC, which was also normal, which shows your 6 months diabetes.
3
Right.
months.
6 months, 3 months, whatever. And even that was normal. But no, he didn't allow it. And that is where the child went back and again had the diabetes. Why? Because the conflict with the father, the domination with the father was not getting over. And now the diabetes is better because he finally left India and went out of the country.
Okay.
Now you understand how emotions play up? And that's why it is so important to work on your conflicts.
Right. Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody?
So you're saying
Okay.
when children have juvenile diabetes, even that is because something at that stage, when they are 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, something has happened in their lives.
Absolutely. As I said, this child had all these conflicts, and I worked on each and every conflict. How many ever, inner children were there, or whatever, we cleared everything. And he was absolutely fine. I still have those reports.
Right.
But it reversed.
So tell me, like, everybody who has diabetes, because let's say if it is because, like, let's say in Tasneem's case, it's because of her husband. So even when we work with her, her husband is going to remain a constant in her life.
Correct.
So how does then healing help?
So what is the lesson for Tasneem over here? Tasneem, what is your lesson over here?
Very difficult.
Is it difficult, or you're not choosing it?
It's difficult.
See, what happens is most of the time we don't want to rock the boat, right? We don't want conflicts at home. We don't want fights at home. So there is one person who's always wanting to be that peacemaker. And there is a very heavy price for being the peacemaker. I always tell all my clients, you'd rather fight with that person, not talk to that person for 2 days, but at least you will not get a disease. At least speak up whatever you need to speak up. Do what you need to do. And Tasneem, in your case, boundaries is becoming extremely important for you. And unfortunately, we believe that boundaries means having a fight. No. Boundaries means standing up for yourself.
Yeah, but it leads to fights. So that's the whole thing.
It leads to fights because that is the best way to overpower, So you need to find a way to deal with that. Dipti answers your question?
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
thank
was
you.
more for everybody because I think conflicts for most people come in the form of close relations with whom to separate becomes a difficult decision.
Because our closest people teach us the toughest lessons.
Yes.
See, if your friend today was violating your boundary, you would have easily left that friend, right?
Correct.
But because it is your husband or your child or your in-laws, your sister, mother, we are not able to do it.
True.
So what does that teach us? Is it about always leaving them, or is it about we standing up for ourselves?
Yeah. Yeah, you stand up for yourselves and make your own
Absolutely.
boundaries. Yeah.
And
You've cut off again.
Kavita, you're frozen.
hello?
Hello. Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you
you
now.
can hear me now? Yeah.
Yes.
I said, even
now
if
we
you
can.
have physically not left your husband, Tasneem, tell me one thing very honestly. Aren't you emotionally divorced? Aren't you
Long
mentally
back.
divorced?
Yes.
Then, so then you might as well stand up for yourself. At least learn your boundaries.
Yeah.
Do it for your body, if not for anybody else.
No, like I said, whenever I speak up, it leads to a very big showdown. So
there
just to
you
keep
need
the
to
peace,
find a strategy of how you are going to speak up for yourself, and you don't get manipulated at that time.
like now, for everything he complains. He complains about every little thing. Okay, everything from my cooking, the food, no matter how good it is, he will find some fault with it and things like that. Just an example. So now I tell him, okay, fine, this is what I can make. You eat it or you manage. You want to call for food
Very
from
good.
outside, you make it on your own. So today also I cooked rajma. He's telling me it's gotten a little burnt. So I ate my food. He had just one chapati, and night he says, "I will not have rajma. Give me make khakras and give me from rotis." I give that to him. I had my rajma and rice, roti, and I kept quiet. I never.
So how did that
commented.
make you feel?
Very good.
That's all you needed to do.
So this
Even
is what
this
I do
is
now.
boundaries. See,
Yes.
this is a very small baby step maybe, but this is also a boundary where at least you are not allowing that person to affect you.
True.
Had you been the Tasneem that you were maybe 20 years back, you would have cried over it. You would have felt terrible about it. Your self-worth would have gone down. I don't know what all would have happened.
No, actually, I was a very strong person from the beginning, very positive person. And I have been fighting him now for 43 years. Okay. So it's not
You
very
have some
small
patience,
time.
my dear.
Yeah. But it was always the children. And I wanted to make sure that my children didn't have to undergo what I have been through. Because I had a lot of issues with my mother-in-law, which would have wrecked my children's lives. So I wanted to make sure, okay, they had a better life. For that, I had to make the sacrifice. So that was the thing. But now children are married, they are settled, they are on their own. So like I get quite mad. But I'm taking it one step at a time now. Yeah.
This is going to be a whole different session that we will have to do, Dipti. The excuses that we give ourselves to stay in marriages. It will be a pretty controversial class that we will be having.
Yeah. So Kavita, then we'll also be responsible for increasing the divorce rates in India.
No, don't worry. We are not going to be responsible for that, because no matter what I speak, people are finally going to do what they want to do. So don't worry about that.
That is true.
Because I could easily ask Tasneem, no, that now that you've got married, your children are settled and everything, why are you still with him? That if that was your reason to be with this person, now they're gone. Why haven't you left?
It's too late now. I am at that age. I'm giving the next excuse.
Again, that's the next excuse. That's what I'm saying. We can have a whole class on this one thing, all the probable excuses that we give ourselves to stay in a marriage.
Not just that, in India, the procedure to divorce is so intense and difficult that you rather stay.
Wow. I didn't know this was also an excuse, Ishanya. Thank you. I'll add it to my list.
But you know, you need to be also financially independent to be able to take that step.
So who stopped you
You
from
know,
working?
No, I was, but
He was working.
because of my
Why
health
did you give
problems
up?
and all, because of my health problems, I was not able to continue. And we were in Dubai, and there they had chain smokers in
Tasneem,
the
don't
office.
give me these stories. Trust me,
You've cut off again. You've cut off again.
I
Hello?
said, don't give me these stories because these are only one thing after another thing that you are actually telling yourself as to why you stayed in the marriage. This reason, that reason, whatever it may be.
Then you need some kind of support somewhere, no? To
So who's going to learn to support themselves?
I'm
Next lesson to be learned.
I'm sorry to jump in between, but I agree with Tasneem ji. I might be of your daughter's age or maybe a little, elder, but I would like to add that, really in India, it is tough because, I have also tried to handle, take care of women who are suffering or, going through any kind of abuse. But it is so tough in India. It's like, many times the parents also don't accept the daughter back.
yes,
They will say that
absolutely.
I have got you married. You have to
Yeah.
stay there. तुमको करना है, वो तुम्हारा घर है. So then what are you going to do? It becomes tough in
Exactly.
India. It's really tough.
Dipti, do we
Exactly.
take this up in the next session? Otherwise,
can
diabetes is
definitely
going to be
take this
left
up.
behind.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yes,
we
sure,
can actually
sure.
take this up as a topic in terms of relationships. So instead of a disease, it could be relationships.
True,
This
true.
is, yes, absolutely. This is all about relationships. And please understand, relationships is one place where you are going to be tried and tested the max.
I think especially because most illnesses stem from close relations.
Of course.
So this will be an
All right.
interesting discussion. Let's leave this for next.
You can put it up on your poll.
उसमें सब हाँ बोलेंगे.
Hi, Kavita. This is
Yes,
Madhu.
Madhu.
The other Madhu.
Yes, the other Madhu.
Sorry for joining in late. I just wanted to ask you one thing. Last year, my mom was admitted in the hospital. She was taking tablets for sugar just once a day. I guess after she was diagnosed with urinary infection and she had to be in the hospital for close to a month. She came back and surprisingly, the doctor had stopped her BP medicine and said she has to take blood sugar medicine twice a day. So, which kind of, what to say, I don't know. Was it the trauma of being in the hospital that kind of increased her blood sugar, or what could it be?
Yes, of
then?
course. Even being in the hospital, if you see the people, especially who have been in the ICU, where the family members are not allowed to go and see them.
No, fortunately, my
Okay.
mom.
No.
was
I'm
not
giving you an
like that.
example
Okay.
that
Yeah,
when
okay.
people are in the ICU and family members are not allowed to stay with them and be with them, they go through a severe isolation conflict, because of which they have a lot of water retention when they come back from the hospitals. So if that can happen, there is a very bright possibility that she went into some kind of trauma when she was in the hospital, which has triggered the diabetes. But because she has gone for the urinary tract infection problem, I would first want to look at the urinary tract infection problem.
Yes, okay. And at that time, they kind of suspected kidney stones also. But then all that was sorted, and she was just left with taking sugar tablets twice a day. That's it.
So probably you will have to ask her, where is it that she felt separated from something or someone?
I guess I'm the only person who's away from her. She must have felt that separation.
Maybe
I'm
she felt
thinking.
that. Maybe she really wanted you at that time when she was in the hospital, and for whatever reasons you were not there.
I guess, yes, that could have
So
been a
that can
reason.
be a conflict for her. Yes.
So that could have been a stress on her for her to take extra medicines for sugar.
Yes, definitely it can be.
Okay, okay. So
See,
just tell me.
when I started the talk, I gave you my example that the doctors told me, I could go into coma or anything. Now,
Okay.
more than the problem that, I am going to be living with seizures, I think my bigger conflict at that time and the trauma became that I could, become a vegetable.
Okay, okay,
So for me, it was trauma ke upar trauma.
okay.
Are you getting it? Like in that
Yes.
15 days, I must have gone through 15 different conflicts.
Okay, okay,
And I had to sort all of them out for me to get back on my feet.
okay. But it's amazing how you managed yourself.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. But as I said, the doctors giving your diagnosis, that can also become a conflict for you.
Okay. But this doctor, luckily, because she was taking BP medicines for 2 years before that. Surprisingly, he said, stop all her medicines. All she needs is only her sugar tablets. That is twice a day. That's it. And she's taking medicines for cholesterol, Roswas or something. That's it. Nothing else.
There are so many issues that you've spoken about: UTI, kidney stones, diabetes, high blood pressure. I would have to look at everything to understand why the doctor has put her only on sugar pills.
That's because he was constantly monitoring her all the 20 odd days and found that she didn't have BP at all. Her BP was stable.
So why was she being given BP medicines earlier?
But that was by a different doctor.
So are you realizing sometimes even when the diagnosis is not correct and
Yes.
suddenly the doctor comes and tells you, oh, you didn't have blood pressure, but what, you've got diabetes. That itself is a trauma for you.
Yes, yes, yes. And
it's like 20 years, then why did I take BP medicines?
In fact, when she started taking medicines, first time she came back from hospital, started taking a BP medicine, her BP went low, which was one of the reasons why she had to get admitted again.
My God. I think that's the reason that I told you that it was one of my bravest decisions that I didn't go in for a second surgery.
No, but thankfully she was in good hands and, they managed to just give her the minimum medicines or whatever was needed. So that way it's fine. And the doctor was
actually here, it is going to become complicated because we really don't know when was the onset of diabetes.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Right?
What you're saying is right. The stress.
So in her case, we really need to ask her quite a few questions as to what was she emotionally feeling when she was in the hospital and before that. What was really happening in her life at that time?
Okay. Okay.
That will give us an idea as to when did the diabetes really start.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kavita.
You're most welcome. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Anybody else has any other question?
Yeah. So Kavita, let's say if a child is adopted and if the adopted child at some level, even when the kid is 2-3 years old, at a subconscious level comes to know that he or she is adopted, that can also cause diabetes, right? That's a separation.
Not necessarily. Again, as I said, we need to speak to the child. How does the child feel about being adopted?
Okay.
The child may not feel a separation conflict or a kind of anger, disgust, but the child just may feel very abandoned.
Okay.
If you remember, Dipti, the first session that we did where I shown that picture and everybody gave a different description of that picture. You have to remember that.
Right.
Every disease, you need to understand the client's perspective. So in case of this, I would really want to ask the child, how did you feel when you came to know that you are adopted? And you will be surprised by the answer that you will get.
Okay.
And depending on that answer and what that child was feeling, there will be a disease related to that.
Right.
Because even if it is a separation conflict, if it has gone into the fourth layer of the brain, which is the cortex of the brain, it could end up with skin disease.
Right. No, there's someone in my known circle who has juvenile diabetes and she's adopted. So the question was more from that point of view, because at a conscious level, she still doesn't know she's adopted, even though she's in her 30s now.
Now, even if she doesn't even know that she's adopted, you cannot assume that, her diabetes is because of that.
Okay.
It can be something so much at a subconscious level that when her biological parents must have left the child, that child may have sensed the separation.
Oh, okay. At the time of birth.
Yes. At the time of birth or immediately after that, when the parents were, thinking of leaving the child.
Or even during pregnancy, right? Because someone in the family.
See, preconception, conception, your entire 9 months, anywhere she could have picked up this energy that these people don't want me.
No, because this lady got pregnant for the sake of somebody else. So yeah, in the family.
Oh, wow. So when you have anyways got, yourself pregnant because of that, you have never connected with your own child.
Right.
And when you've not connected with your child, anyways, the child is going to feel separated.
Right.
So that is where the whole separation conflict is coming. And again, if it was within the family,
it is.
Let's say that the elder brother's wife conceived so that the younger couple could have the child.
It is.
The child can feel that my houses got divided into two.
Okay.
एक ही घर में दो लोग, मेरे दो माँ बाप है ना?
No, very possible. I think that's why maybe at the age of 3 she got juvenile diabetes.
Wow, at the age of 3, that's really.
She's in her 30s now, so she's been on injections since then.
Wow. Hidden the person worked on herself, himself, whoever it is.
Yeah. Choice. It's a person's choice.
Yeah, of course it's a choice. I really don't understand how people can choose medications and surgeries and all that, over a few therapies. It just doesn't go in my head.
I agree with you, but yeah, no, but this was a good perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else has any question?
Hi, Kavita, Madhu. I
Yes,
just
Madhu.
want to know regarding skin problems, that also is stress related?
No, it depends.
Okay.
Again, it depends on what is the conflict the person went through.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Because there is one skin issues that comes from the inner layer of the skin.
Okay.
Like your pimples, acne and all that.
Okay.
But psoriasis, eczema is the top layer of the skin.
Okay.
So, and they both have different conflicts.
Okay.
So, are you asking for anything specific with skin?
No, it's some kind of, let's say, a sun allergy or some kind of pigmentation. What do you say for that then?
So pigmentation, has it happened because of allergy? Has it happened because of a hormonal issue? What?
I don't know. This is a friend of mine. She's having some kind of a sun allergy and pigmentation, and the doctors asked her to use.
I would sincerely request you all who are asking questions for other people, please catch hold of these people and tell them to be present here.
Yes, that
because
I will do.
I need to ask them a specific question.
Different time zone. That's why.
I understand, but are you understanding? Because see, there are so many conflicts that can happen around one thing. It's much easier to ask this person, like, what is it that you were feeling when all this started?
Okay. Okay. Fine.
See, when you say sun allergy, you have to understand that it is a very broad thing that you're saying.
Okay.
As I said, pigmentation can happen because of hormonal problem. Pigmentation can happen because of this one particular thing, which is called the melanin not being enough in your skin.
Okay.
Okay. So we need to have the correct diagnosis first. First the diagnosis, then finding the conflict.
Okay.
So today also, if somebody comes to me and tells me, I think I have diabetes, that doesn't work. Please go get a blood test done. Show me your blood test and then we'll talk. Because nowadays what happens, people go on Google and they think they have all the possible diseases that the Google can show you.
Okay.
You need to have your correct diagnosis, because otherwise I cannot give you the conflict.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kavita.
Just 1 second.
Yes,
I know
Ishan.
I'm digressing because you just mentioned the pigmentation because of hormonal. I have this thing, this just appeared 3 months back, and I'm 47 years old, so somewhere near the menopause. So my skin doctor told me that it's because of that hormonal thing, and she said it will stabilize.
Okay.
It'll go away. So what is your take on that?
My take on that is that what is your biggest fear of becoming old?
Is biggest fear of becoming old? Okay, actually I don't have. I'm rather worried about my mother who is 84 years old.
And why are you worried about her?
She's old, she's alone,
So can you stay with her?
no, she's in a small town somewhere. She wouldn't come here.
Okay. Okay.
But that could be the reason, right?
No, that cannot be the reason, because this is to do with you. See, whenever anything happens around menopause, we need to understand it is a woman going through a whole different phase now. It's
Okay.
like when you are a child and you get into your puberty, it's a big shift. From puberty, you get into marriage, your sexual energies and everything. That's your next shift. That same way, menopause is your one very major shift that is happening. Okay? It is that phase in your life where everybody is going to tell you, oh, now you're getting old, you're going to slow down, and this is going to happen, and that is going to happen. And that starts creating a lot of fear inside you. The biggest fear that people have around us this time is of falling sick. They don't want to become a burden. They don't want to become dependent.
I think it's resonating with me, but I'm just thinking what could be.
I'm sorry, Ishani, I couldn't hear you.
Nothing is resonating with me so far.
Right.
So, but what you're saying is it's about some fear of age, of old
It
age.
is related with you. How will you feel when you are not going to have your periods anymore?
I feel good.
You will feel good. Why?
Because it's no hassles. You can just do anything you want, like travel, all
Okay,
that.
so all these years, has periods been a problem for you?
No, never.
Again, there is a conflict. You're giving me answers on both the sides.
Yeah, see, the thing is, it has never been a problem for me. I can't even make out when I have my periods, and they're maximum three days. Okay, but if I have to go for a trekking in the higher altitude and all this, these periods I'll have to take care. But
So what's the problem in that?
Not a problem. It is a little bit of discomfort in terms of.
So, Ishani, if I were to ask you very clearly, is that when a woman does not accept her periods, she does not accept it as a part of her body and her being. All these women have very tough menopause.
We don't have any problem with menopause.
You have still started over there, probably. Your symptoms have started probably, that's why. But most of the time, I'm saying this is the most of the time, the women that I have worked with, when you are not comfortable being a woman, you're not comfortable with your periods, your menopause does become difficult.
Okay, so let's figure it out. I'll do that.
Because when we are saying menopause means, it's not that one fine day your periods are going to just stop. You're going to go through the perimenopausal phase. That is the first thing you will go through.
I'm very comfortable because I have seen people around me, like my mother, my aunt, my whatever, even my in-law, my mother-in-law. I have never found any problem with anybody. So I don't have that conception in my head that menopause is difficult. So
maybe menopause is not the thing, and maybe you need to see how do you feel about being a woman.
Okay, let me check it out. It is some fear of old age, or it's about
it is a fear of old age, and it is to do with the estrogen hormone.
Okay. So it's about being a woman.
Absolutely. Because estrogen is what makes a woman a woman.
Okay, I got it. So let me figure it out. I'll do that. Thanks a lot, Kavita.
Welcome. Okay. So I don't think anybody has any other questions around diabetes. There's something in the chat.
Hari Shankar has written in the chat.
Yeah, what is it? 1 second. Huh?
Yeah, thanks Kavita ji.
Diabetes
I have
for
been diabetic
25.
25 years. Yeah.
And you echoed my thoughts entirely. You articulated everything that I've been suspecting all along from day one. Okay. If you have any other question, then I can answer, Hari, if you're around. Okay. You don't have any question, Hari? I think you found your conflicts. You'll have to unmute.
Thanks, no questions.
Okay. All right. And Vivek, you should have a key to blissful marriage webinar. I'm so sorry, I don't have any key to a blissful marriage, but yes, I can give you a key to the blissful life. That I can give you. No keys to blissful marriage. Blissful life possible.
Blissful life in marriage possible?
Absolutely.
Yes, so that could be the webinar topic.
Absolutely, that is possible.
Yes. That could solve a lot of illnesses. How to lead a blissful life while being married.
Learn to take care of yourself. That's the key.
I think that's something which most people find difficult.
Why is it so difficult? That's the question. You all want to die of diabetes. You all want to die of high blood pressure. You all want to die in coma. God knows whatever, diseases that we have created, but we are not willing to take care of ourselves. Can you see the, I don't know what is the right word over there. I mean, at what extremes we live.
Everybody's
choosing
smiling.
Yourself over all these diseases. I think I'm very happy choosing myself.
Everybody has a smile on their face. Who's ever
Yeah, that itself tells me that yes, Kavita, what you're saying makes sense. We don't know how to get there.
So I have a question. So do you help overall? Suppose, for example, all these examples we shared, like, suppose I come to know or you come to know, you let me know that this has happened, because of, whatever trauma or whatever you're going through, this is the reason. We at times, ourselves can introspect and understand that this is the reason, but we don't know how to go through it.
I'm really sorry, Tuli, you cannot do this on your own. See, it is
that's what I'm asking.
Yes,
Would
yes,
you
of
help
course.
in the entire process?
That's my job. That is my job. Like, see,
Yes,
I work with all kinds of diseases, and 95% of the time people have got out of it completely, including cancer.
Okay, amazing. Great.
Okay. And the cancer has not even come back. But yes, if you're not willing to work on yourself and the conflict comes back again,
different. Yeah, if you're not willing, then no one can help you, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. See, I have clients with their thyroid medicines have stopped and the thyroid disease has absolutely come clear in the blood report. Cholesterol has got cleared, high blood pressure has got cleared, cancer, juvenile diabetes, name it, it's there.
Great.
So that is what I'm saying. Like, you need to be willing to work on yourself and take the necessary steps, and you can be disease free.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. Thank you so much for answering.
And even when I even I'm 51 today, I'm also in that menopausal phase and all that. And at that time, a lot of things came up even in my body. Okay, fibroid came up, cholesterol came up because of all the hormonal imbalance. My fasting sugar borderline, I was there. Thyroid came up. And of course, the doctors told me you are menopausal, all this will come once, you will have settled down in your menopause, everything is going to go away. I said, I'm not waiting for it to go away.
Right.
And I started working on myself, and all these 4 things I have gone.
Awesome.
I don't have fibroid, my cholesterol is normal, my diabetes came down, and my thyroid is also completely gone.
Awesome. Great. Lovely. Great to know.
So, yes, just make the choice that, you want to be healthy and you're willing to work on it.
True. Right.
Thank you, Tuli.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
This is about repressed anger. Louis Hay says, use a pillow and beat the hell out of it. Pour all your emotions into it. I want to know if there are other channels for expressing anger, since there are no channels for reasonable expression. If I can't sort it out with people I have issues with, who are giving me this anger in the first place for whatever reason, do you have a practical tip how I can, let all this anger out?
So beating the pillows doesn't work for you?
I've never tried it.
Try it.
I feel sorry for the pillow, actually.
Okay. So is the pillow going to bash you back?
No, that's exactly.
I don't
why
think
I
so.
feel sorry.
I am a HelioLife certified workshop leader and life coach. Okay. And please understand, any method that can help you get out of that anger is important.
Okay.
Okay. You can just write down your feelings, tear the paper and burn it. You can write down everything and then beat the pillow up. Okay. Now, at one point, I had a client who told me, Kavita, this is always not satisfying. I don't feel my anger has come out. I said, what do you need so that you feel that your anger has come? I need to hear some noises as though something is breaking. Okay. So I said, fine, you come for the next session and I'll give that to you. And I went and bought, those cutting chai ka cups, small cups, 10 rupees. I went and got 1 dozen cups for that person. I closed the door of my therapy room and I told him, here are these cups, break them and hear the voice.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
the person went and really had a go at it. And that person was absolutely fine after it. Sometimes your anger needs a particular way of expression.
Okay.
Give it to that voice.
Okay.
What is the worst that will happen? You'll get 1 cut on your finger, fine, go and put a bandage.
Right.
But when you will get that anger out, you will realize there is just suddenly so much of space that is opened up in your heart.
Yeah.
It's like, your mind becomes clear after that. And that is when the wisdom, the learning comes in.
Right.
And that is your true healing. So if you come today in my therapy room, you will find those small classes. There are pillows, there are plastic knives. I even keep dandas and everything. Let people have a go, whichever way they want it.
Okay. I'm coming to Pune soon.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Because see, as I said, not everybody likes writing, right? Not everybody likes speaking it out. So what is your way of getting out of that anger? That's what you have to understand.
Right. Right.
When I
Okay.
did my therapy for my thyroid is all about you not being able to speak up, right? And my therapist asked me, Kavita, what is that one thing that you need so that, your voice can come out? And I said, I want to give one loud scream. And I have screamed my lungs out. But the result of that, no thyroid.
Wow.
So ask yourself, how do I need this anger out of my body? And please, meditation is not the answer.
Oh, yeah.
We need to remember, whenever we are in these kind of heightened emotions and we do meditations, it only will get aggravated.
Okay.
So it's like anger will become rage, sadness will become depression. Find a way to meditate that resonates with you. Maybe cooking is meditation for you. Maybe painting is meditation for you. Dancing is meditation for you. It's not about sitting in one place for half an hour. You have to find out what resonates with you. For me, giving this talk is meditation. Anything that, fills you up, that's meditation. I hope I answered your question, Madhu.
Perfectly. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I have a question.
Who is it?
I'm sorry, I joined in late, Huma Khan.
Yes, Huma.
I'd like to know about the cholesterol and hypertension.
When you say cholesterol, hypertension, you mean high blood pressure, which is because of cholesterol?
Yes. And anxiety
Alright.
attacks.
Okay. Anxiety attack and high blood pressure. Now, first thing, high blood pressure. Whenever anything is related to blood, we need to understand it is to do with the people that are in our inner circle. Okay. So with you, I would ask you the question, what was happening in your life when this blood pressure started, where your blood relationships were creating a lot of pressure on you?
Okay.
Did it resonate?
Yes.
Right. So that's your conflict around high blood pressure.
Okay. Missing my children, maybe.
Can be anybody, yeah? Anybody who's sitting on your head.
Okay.
See, when we talk about pressure on the head, it can be anything that is creating that pressure. It can be your husband, your parents, your in-laws, your children. It can be your job. Getting it?
Yes.
So you need to figure out a better way of dealing with this pressure and not create high blood pressure.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Purba, you had a question?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to know what causes restless legs, restlessness of
Restless
legs.
leg.
Yeah, like when I'm going off to sleep, my body wants to sleep, but my legs, they don't want to be on the bed. They want to walk. So I feel like as if I'm split into two.
Now, if I were to hear your words as though I am split into two, who are these parts of you? Where one part wants to sleep and the other wants to move somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's the feeling I get when I'm trying to, sleep at night.
Right. So where is it, Apurva, that you don't allow yourself to rest?
I'm not able to understand that.
You already have the answer.
Okay.
When did this start?
This started a week back.
So a week back, what was happening in your life where you wanted to do something else, but you were not being able to do that?
I'll have to think. I'll have to introspect.
It's not introspect. See,
Okay.
again, the minute you tell me you're going to introspect means you're going to give me a mental answer.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
your conflict is not something that you're going to think about. Your conflict is right there in front of you.
Okay.
Is it your left leg or your right leg?
Both the legs actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So if today you could talk to your legs and ask your legs, what is it that they want to do at that time?
Yeah.
So what would your legs answer? What do they want to do at that time when they become restless?
They want to walk, like go out.
And where do they want to go?
Anywhere. I mean, I simply get
And
out
why
of
are
the
you
bed.
not allowing them?
I do when it is possible, I do, because when I'm not able to go off to sleep, then I start walking and pacing up and down in the room. I do that. And
Right.
when my legs get tired, then I finally come back to sleep. But it's very
So do
frustrating.
you have a belief? Do you have a belief that I don't deserve to rest? Do you have to keep doing till you drop dead?
No, I take like I take medicine, like I take.
That's not the
Yeah.
answer. What is the
Okay.
question I asked you? Are you somebody who keeps doing till you drop dead?
Yeah, right.
That is what is happening with your legs. Your legs have got so used to working, running, walking, that now when you want to rest, they don't want to rest.
Okay.
And when you tell me that there is a split, as the one part is sleeping and the other part doesn't want to sleep,
Yeah.
I would want to look at that split.
Okay.
Which is that part, Apurva, which wants to rest, and which is that part which doesn't want to rest?
Right. The legs basically.
So
Yeah.
what you are saying is a physical split. I'm talking
Yeah.
of an emotional split.
Okay. Okay.
Somewhere emotionally you have split inside where you have said, I cannot rest till I have dropped dead.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
one part which is tired is dropped dead, but the other part which is not tired is not allowing you to sleep.
Okay. Okay.
We need to work on these two splits.
Okay. Okay.
Then that will go away.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Okay, Tuli has asked in the chat, when
Yes.
you start to vent out the rage by bashing pillows or anything, is crying an answer? Can someone cry and vent out everything?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, if you don't allow yourself to cry, your next issue is going to become dry eyes. Have you all heard of the problem of dry eyes?
Yes.
Is anybody aware of it?
Yes, I am. This is Deepti.
Okay. So dry eyes, what happens, Deepti?
Basically, when you work too much, they start itching very fast. They start burning.
When you work too much.
Yeah, or even otherwise, it gets strained faster. In my opinion, dry eyes is when your eyes get strained very faster. They get tired very fast.
Okay. The conflict behind dry eyes is they are specifically to those people who don't allow themselves to cry.
Sorry, I
Yes,
asked
yes,
about crying, but I don't, I'm not that person who cries and vents out. But my daughter is very small. She's just 7, but she's very smart. So she was hearing. She's going through, listening to all of this, and she told that when I feel bad, when I'm not happy with something, I cry and vent out. So I thought, no, I should ask.
Please
because
allow her
many
to do
people
that. Don't stop her.
Yeah. No, I don't. But yeah,
Please
I thought
let
I
her
would
howl,
ask.
scream, whatever she needs to do. It is very important that the children have a very safe way of expressing themselves.
Yes, true. Yeah.
It is
Thank
very
you.
important to tell them that it's okay to feel your feelings.
Everything is okay. Yes, agreed. Yeah. Right. Thanks.
Because as they grow up, that's what we do, no? You shouldn't be talking like this. You shouldn't be crying. What
Don't
is
sit
it that
like
you're crying
this.
at the
Don't
drop
talk
of the
like
hat?
this. True.
Right? That is where we start suppressing our feelings. We start making beliefs.
Right.
So if she has heard this and she has told you, so now you as a
Yeah.
mother can be very, understanding to the fact that if she's crying, that means there's something she's not liked.
Yes.
You can ask her what is bothering her.
Yeah. True.
And that will be really helpful to you.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
And I
You're
think one
welcome.
request to all the people who have sons, please let them also express and let them cry.
Yes,
It's okay.
absolutely.
So that, they don't have issues later on in life. I mean,
Absolutely,
as kids,
because
please teach them to cry.
it's very interesting that men have more dry eyes than women.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Please teach your sons to cry.
Ma'am, my daughter keeps her emotions bottled up a lot. She doesn't cry that easily, or she doesn't express that easily. No matter how many times I tell her that you need to express, don't keep everything suppressed inside. But I'm not able to understand that why she's not able to express herself.
So Apurva, instead of telling her to do that, you need to ask her, why does she not feel safe to do that?
Okay. And she has dry eyes.
So
Yeah.
that is where you need to ask her that where is it that you're not feeling safe to feel your feelings? Because
I'll do that. Yeah.
she needs to feel safe, no? Let's say tomorrow she wants to throw a tantrum. And if everybody in the house is going to then scream at her for throwing a tantrum, she's not going to feel safe to do that, right?
Yeah. Actually, it's
so
just
obviously
three
she's
of
going
us.
to suppress it.
Yeah, actually, it's just 3 of us at home, me, my hubby, and she. And we don't scold her like that, or we don't put that fear in her that you cannot
Maybe
express
somebody in
your
the school or
emotions.
college has done that.
Okay, she's in class 6th, so maybe school.
Maybe
Yeah,
somebody in the school has told that, because nowadays there's so much of peer pressure. I mean, the things that children talk today. Oh, you are a sissy, you are crying. And then just to be a part of that group, the child stops crying.
Right. She has faced bullying in school. Yeah.
There you go. So whenever you have faced bullying, and if she has not healed that trauma, she has not come out of that, she will find it very difficult to express herself.
Okay. Have to work on it.
Yes. Her bullying needs to be healed.
Okay.
Kavita?
Yes.
I have a question about chronic kidney diseases that seem like a natural fallout of diabetes. Are these coming from the same reasons, or are they completely unrelated to diabetes?
See, with diabetes, your one by one, your organs start getting weak. Okay. Now, for some people, it can be the bones and muscles. For some people, it can be the nerves. But if it has specifically happened with the kidney, that means there is not only a trauma of the diabetes, there is also an associated trauma with the kidney.
Okay.
And again, with kidneys, there are multiple conflicts over their mother.
Okay.
See, if you even take the word kidney, what is kid?
Child.
It is to do with your children. So there can be issues around your children. What is the function of the kidney? The conflicts are associated to that.
Okay.
Okay. So I think, Dipti, it would be nice if one fine session, we can also take kidneys. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Dipti.
Yes. Thank you, Kavita, for being here and for this wonderful session, because I'm sure a lot of us have a lot of thoughts now as to what we need to do.
I hope you all make the choice of working on yourself.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.